Lineup of festive 13th, 2024, and the news begins now.
Now, the news with Steve McMurray and meteorologist Eric Gage.
And good morning. Thank you for joining us. I am Steve McMurray. I have some good news to pass on. Gary Liberatore, who had hip surgery yesterday, talked to him, and he said everything went fine, and he is recovering now. So, Gary, we certainly wish you a speedy recovery. And as much as I like hanging out with you at Dark 30, Gary, obviously, take your time, come back, and we've got the fort for you. But some nice weather today as well.
Yeah, I was going to say this too because he's saying he was up and walking as well, and it much needed. I think that he definitely deserves to have at least a few days off after that. But yeah, the weather today is chilly this morning.
Yes,
but we're warming up into the 60s for today. It's going to be
fantastic,
beautiful weather. Let's take a look at the conditions right now. We can see it's 31 officially in Rome, 30 in Hamilton, 35 in Syracuse, but out of Buffalo, it's nearly 50 degrees this morning. That's that warm air that's expected to slowly inch its way into central New York within the next 12 or so hours. But on the radar, we are currently dry. There's only noise from the greens and pinks you're seeing on the radar south. And over the next 12 hours, looking at highs approaching the upper 50s to low 60s, partly sunny to partly cloudy skies. But overall, a pretty pleasant day today. A weak front moves over our area that has the potential of producing a brief light sprinkle south and east of Utica as we head into the evening hours, but we're not looking to see anything in terms of a washout or widespread rain. But following this, we have another mild day tomorrow. We're also tracking our rainfall chances by the end of the week. Look at that forecast is coming up. Back to you, Steve.
All right, Eric, thanks. And remember, the Storm Tracker 2 forecast is never more than 10 minutes away. Well, new this morning, former President
The WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired.
Welcome back. Take a look at your commute cast as you head to and from work today. Starting out, those drive times along both I-90 and the arterial, right around average. We're on a 67-mile-per-hour speed on I-90, 53 miles per hour along the arterial between 790 to 840. Looking at 5S and Route 49, looking at 16 to 17-minute drive time for Route 5S, and lastly, 11 minutes on your commute from Utica to Rome. For today, though, we're tracking sunshine to start out your day today. A chilly start with lows in the 30s, but we quickly warm up into the 60s by this afternoon with partly cloudy skies. We're tracking more mild conditions for tomorrow as well. Dry weather sticks around, but we're looking at rain showers arriving later on in the week. We'll time it all out in that full forecast straight ahead. Steve?
All right, Eric, thanks a lot. Well, March Madness kicks
from Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's meteorologist Eric Gage.
Good morning. Welcome back. Happy Wednesday, everyone. It's starting out on the cool side with lows in the 30s. Clear skies out right now. A few passing clouds will push over our area today, but there should be plenty of opportunity for sunshine. A live look at downtown Utica right now from the Nexus camera. Again, it's clear, it's quiet, it's dry. Currently 31 degrees, right below freezing. The winds are going to be remaining calm for today and at least for the near future. We're not looking at any very windy conditions like we saw on Monday. A live look at the Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2, a live radar. All is quiet here in central New York this morning, and over the next dozen hours, we are looking at, you guessed it, warm weather. We're talking about highs in the upper 50s to low 60s with a few passing clouds, but looking at partly cloudy to partly sunny skies for today. The winds remain calm for today and tomorrow. They pick up a little bit on Friday and Saturday with wind speeds of roughly 10 to maybe 15 miles per hour maximum, but overall not too bad of a week wind-wise. The bigger picture, we are seeing clear skies right now, but notice we got this cloud layer starting to move in from the west. Let's head to the future. We can see where that's heading. You notice it passes over central New York and produces clouds. This is a frontal boundary, but with a lack of moisture near the surface and the forcing being weak, this is not really going to produce anything in terms of rain aside from maybe an isolated sprinkle south. Now, following that, remain pretty dry heading into tonight and early Thursday, but this is the low pressure we've been tracking all week long. It's actually moving a little bit quicker than we saw early on in the week with the previous data. Because of that, we're thinking that the rain will arrive Thursday night and into Friday, and then Friday evening is looking more and more dry. And so in our Skycast for today, we're talking about a few passing clouds. Notice that brief isolated sprinkle right there. Besides that, though, pretty mild temperatures in the upper 50s, low 60s. Thursday, starting out dry, valley fog possible as an inversion sets up near the surface. And then as you head into Thursday afternoon, remaining dry until about the evening, then that widespread rain arrives, lingers into the overnight hours, and hopefully throughout the day Friday, we dry up, and of course temperatures climbing into the 50s. Today, though, 60s and 50s, partly cloudy skies tonight. Looking at dry conditions, but patchy fog developing in the valley locations. Your 7-day forecast. 57 the high for Thursday, 47 on Saturday for St. Patrick's Day parade, 51 Sunday, rain arrives a little bit. And then as we head into first day of spring, it's cooling down with highs only in the 30s. We'll be right back.
It's your turn.
News with Steve McMurray and meteorologist Eric Gage.
Good morning, everybody. Thank you for joining us this half hour. I'm Steve McMurray.
And I'm Storm Tracker 2, meteorologist Eric Gage.
So it was pretty nice yesterday. Wind started to die down. Today looks A-OK. Not to steal your...
Yeah.
You don't need to.
Thank you. Yeah.
I'm here.
I'll look at the news now. Yeah, I'm joking. But yes, it's looking nice out.
Yeah.
In the 60s today, we got some sunshine, a bit more clouds in the sky, but not too bad by
Take
March
60.
standards. We'll take
Absolutely.
60s.
Absolutely.
The current conditions right now, well, it's not 60 yet. It's a little bit cooler in the 30s. 31 in Rome, 30 in Hamilton. But you look out to the west, it's 49 degrees in Buffalo. That warm air is expected to slowly inch its way closer to us within the span of the next 12 or so hours. The radar is looking dry. We only have just some noise in the radar, primarily around Binghamton and areas south. But over the next 12 hours, again, it's a cool start, warming up into the 60s with partly cloudy skies. We got more clouds today compared to yesterday, but we're looking at 60s for highs. As we head into the next few days, it's still remaining mild, but we're tracking our next chance of seeing some rain, possibly by Thursday night and into Friday. And we'll also have a look at what to expect, the early preview of the weekend straight ahead. Back to you, Steve.
All right, Eric, thank you. And don't forget the Storm Tracker 2 forecast is never more than 10 minutes away. Well, new this morning...
Welcome back. Showcasing weather photo of the day on this Wednesday. This one is an extremely close call in Clinton. A viewer submitted this one. Came home from work to find a tree narrowly missing their house. That's I would call it anywhere near a close call, just a few inches to the right, and it could have caused any serious damage. So just be thankful that the tree missed the house almost entirely. This photo submitted in Clinton by Dee Kitchen. If you want to submit a photo like this one or any non-photo like this one, and if you don't want to produce any bad juju with wind damage, send it to WKTV.com/weather/pics. Temperatures right now in the 30s and 20s, 28 Otter Lake, 29 Little Falls, 32 degrees in Whitesboro. And even though we start out cool, those temperatures will quickly climb from the 30s up into the 40s, 50s, and eventually 60s in the Mohawk Valley. We're tracking a few more mild days this week and the potential for rain showers later on. We'll talk about that straight ahead. Steve?
All right, Eric, thank you. No community is immune to it. We see our
Most dependable weather team. Here's meteorologist Eric Gage.
Good morning. Welcome back, everyone. We are tracking a cool but quiet start to your day today as roads are dry, and we're looking at dry conditions for the remainder of this early morning. A live look at downtown Utica right now along Risky Boulevard. We're seeing, of course, the traffic right before rush hour. Not too bad out there early this morning. Temperatures in the low 30s, a light breeze from the southeast. And as more warm air begins to move in from the south, those temperatures will continue to climb throughout the day. But one good thing to mention is the winds will not be nearly as windy as yesterday and nowhere near as windy as Monday. And the calm winds linger through Thursday, pick up a little bit Friday and Saturday, but these days will be more like what we saw on Tuesday with those wind speeds around 10 to 15 miles per hour. A live look, the Artful Battery Storm Tracker 2 live radar. All is quiet here locally, but we are tracking a frontal boundary that will be approaching our area this afternoon. More info on that in just a minute. But again, over the next dozen hours, highs approaching the low 60s with partly cloudy skies and pretty pleasant weather by mid-March standards. So, bigger picture, you kind of see the outline of that front moving in right here. It's colliding with another warm front to the south, but with this, there's a lot of dry air near the surface, and the front itself is very weak. So because of that, there's a very weak forcing taking place. It will primarily produce clouds, not so much in terms of rain. In fact, maybe an isolated sprinkle is possible south and east of Utica later on this evening, as you can pinpoint right there. Beyond that, though, we remain relatively dry heading into the overnight hours. Starting out Thursday looking dry, but the change to our forecast is with that widespread rain we were talking about for Friday. It's actually trending a little bit quicker. You can see this front moving through, and this is late Thursday, early Friday, and this lingers and ends by Friday evening. But zooming in our Skycast, you can see here locally temperatures in the upper 50s, low 60s. A few passing clouds today, but there should be plenty of opportunity for sunshine. Tonight you can see that frontal boundary pushing through, an isolated sprinkle, then patchy fog in the valley tomorrow as an inversion sets up over our area. Then highs approach the 60s once more, upper 50s, low 60s by tomorrow before more widespread rain begins to arrive. Today, 50s and 60s, partly cloudy skies. Tonight, valley fog in some spots, lows in the 40s and 30s. Your 7-day forecast, pretty mild weather for tomorrow. Rain begins to arrive Thursday night into Friday, and as I mentioned earlier, it's trending early and earlier, that rain, and it's looking more and more dry for Saturday, which is a very good news.
Yeah.
I know I'll be walking in the parade, and I don't want to bring an umbrella or a rain jacket. So.
I don't blame you. And parade is always nicer when there are no raindrops to dodge.
Yes.
So, all right, thanks a lot, Eric. Well, and the news begins now.
Now, the news with Steve McMurray and meteorologist Eric Gage.
Good morning, and thank you for joining us. I'm Steve McMurray.
And I'm Storm Tracker 2 meteorologist Eric Gage.
A lot to get to this morning, but let's get a check of that Storm Tracker 2 forecast, and it looks pretty nice out.
Yeah, that's right. It's a cool start today. It's quiet and dry, but we warm up into the 60s for highs today. It's going to be fantastic. A little more clouds in the sky than yesterday. Not completely blue, but overall looking pretty nice.
We'll still take it.
Yeah, look at those conditions out there this morning. It's 31 in Rome, 32 Hamilton, 41, a little warmer down in Binghamton, 19 up in Saranac Lake, but it's 50 out in Buffalo. And where the greens are on the map is where that warm air is and is expected to start arriving into central New York within the next 12 hours as that warm front moves through. Radar is looking quiet. There's just some noise both from the Albany and Binghamton radar picking up with those pinks and greens right now. But over the next 12 or so hours, we're seeing those temperatures climb from right around freezing this morning into the 30s, 40s, and eventually 60s for highs in the Mohawk Valley with partly cloudy skies. We're tracking more mild weather for today as well as tomorrow, and then the chance for some rain heading into later on in the week. We'll talk about that in detail straight ahead. Steve?
All right, Eric, thanks. Remember, your forecast is never more than 10 minutes away. New this morning, former President.
The WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired.
Welcome back. It's time now to look at our commute cast as you head to and from work today. And good news is it's looking pretty much dry with no impacts expected for your travel. So first off, look at those drive times from I-90 east and west. Verona to Utica, Little Falls to Utica, we're noticing much faster speeds from Verona to Utica. Quicker drive time, but again, we're looking at no impacts. Nothing out of the ordinary here. Same thing for the arterial. 5S and Route 49, same story. We've got quiet conditions, drive speed of 64 miles per hour. Route 49 heading from Utica to Rome and back. But heading to work today, it's a cool start. Temperatures in the upper 20s, low 30s. But it's looking pretty much dry. In fact, we see an increase in clouds throughout the afternoon, but plenty of sunshine is still possible, with temperatures climbing very comfortably into the 60s. Steve?
Eric, thanks a lot. Well, March Madness.
From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's meteorologist Eric Gage.
Good morning. Welcome back, everyone. It's currently 6:20 and the sunrise about an hour or so away. In fact, just a little bit less than that. It's quiet right now, but temperatures starting out in the 30s will quickly warm up throughout the day today. A live look at downtown Utica right now. Clear skies, some clouds starting to move in from the west within the next few hours. But again, it's still hovering right around the 31-degree mark at this point, with a light breeze around 6 miles per hour from the southeast. And those winds today will actually not be too bad compared to yesterday, and certainly compared to Monday. This is a very nice change, at least with the winds. And this will linger into Thursday before winds pick up a little bit by Friday and Saturday, thinking more on the lines of 10 to 15 mile per hour winds. Again, not too bad, but it will get more breezy by the end of the week. Live look, the Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2 live radar. We're seeing quiet conditions. You can kind of pinpoint the very edge of this frontal boundary out to the west, but notice how it's not showing up with rain too much, as it's battling a lot of dry air near the surface. On top of that, the front itself is also fairly weak. But over the next dozen hours, we're tracking partly cloudy skies and temperatures starting out in the 30s, but by 11 a.m. to noontime, we're in the 50s, and the early afternoon into the low 60s. No record-setting temperatures today. The record high was around 70 set back several years ago. Looking in the past, over the next, at least for the past 6 or so hours, we can see that frontal boundary kind of shaping up right there. We got this front right here, another one south, but as we move forward, we can see where that front kind of heads. This pushes through, bringing some clouds. By this evening, more sunshine arise, and areas south could see a brief sprinkle as that front continues to push eastward. But an update on our forecast for rain later on in the week. It's moving a little sooner. In fact, you just saw right there, it should be arriving Thursday night into Friday compared to Friday night and into Saturday. And so in our Skycast, at least early on for today, it's dry, it's sunny, more clouds move in, temperatures climbing into the low 60s. Tomorrow, after some lingering valley fog due to an inversion, things dry out and sunshine peaks out a little bit once more, and the rain again begins to arrive by Thursday evening and Thursday night. Today, 50s and 60s, partly cloudy, not too bad of a day. Tonight, looking at some isolated valley fog in the lowest elevations in your 7-day forecast. Mild today, mild tomorrow. Rain arrives Thursday night and into Friday. And again, it's trending earlier, which means that it's looking more and more dry for Saturday.
That's good news.
Yes, very good news for the forecast for that. And same thing for the painting of the green line as well. I know that's Friday at noon. Friday at noon, and hopefully that rain does end by then.
All right, that'll be good news as well. Thanks a lot, Eric. We'll be sure to like us on Facebook and 24, and the news begins now.
Now, the news with Steve McMurray and meteorologist Eric Gage.
Good afternoon. Wow, it's going to be a while. Good morning. Thank you for joining us this half hour. I'm Steve McMurray.
And I'm Storm Tracker 2 meteorologist Eric Gage.
Let's, before we get to the weather, want to pass on some good news. Gary, who's usually here in this seat, had hip surgery yesterday. We talked to him yesterday. Everything went well. So far, so good. So we wish you a speedy recovery in that, Gary, and I will keep this seat warm for you until you get back. Well, there'll be a bunch of us in here, myself, Trey over here, Eric Gage already here, Ben, we'll help you out, the whole team effort here. But Gary, certainly you hope you feel better and recover soon and get back here where you belong. So
yeah, speedy recovery, Gary. It's glad everything went well.
Yeah.
And this morning, it's cool, but it's actually turning out to be a pretty pleasant day with highs in the 60s. A look at the current conditions out there right now. First, a live look at our camera overlooking the city of Oneonta. We're seeing a few passing clouds, but notice some blue skies to the north of the image right here. It's overlooking the area to the east over Oneonta and south side in the far distance. 31 in Rome, 41 in Hamilton, 50 out in Buffalo. Those warm temperatures out in the west will gradually work its way into our local area within the span of the next 6 to 12 hours. But a live look at the Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2, a live radar. All is quiet here in central New York. And over the next 12 hours, those temperatures climb from the 30s to as high as the upper 50s to low 60s. Partly cloudy skies today. Mild weather continues for tomorrow, remaining mostly dry. And then we're tracking our next chance of rain showers later on this week. We'll talk about that, plus the early preview of the St. Patrick's Day weekend coming up. Back to you, Steve.
All right, Eric, thanks. And don't forget, the Storm Tracker 2 forecast is never more than 10 minutes away. New this morning, former special...
Welcome back. Showcasing our weather photo of the day on this Wednesday. This one is recapping Wednesday's windy conditions. This was submitted in Clinton, and look at how close of a call this is right here. That tree missing the house by inches. The viewer who submitted this said that they came home from work and saw that tree narrowly missing the house. Thankfully, no major damage to report. So a close call with that one for sure. If you want to submit a weather photo, send it to WKTV.com/weather/pics on the link on the top of your screen. Be sure to include the location and, of course, as always, your name if you wish to receive credit. Those temperatures this morning, it's a bit cool out there. 25 Inlet, 34 Earlville, 28 in Cooperstown. And those temperatures throughout the day today will continue to climb from the 20s and 30s into the 40s, into the 50s, and let's go about to the 62-degree mark right there. We're thinking about 60s for the highs, and on top of that, more mild weather continues for tomorrow. We're tracking that, plus the potential for rain later on in the week, straight ahead. Steve?
All right, Eric, thanks. No community is immune to it. We see our share in this area.
Most dependable weather team. Here's meteorologist Eric Gage.
Good morning. Welcome back, everyone. We are looking at a dry start to your day today. Temperatures right around freezing. Some locations a little cooler, but we quickly warm up into the 60s in some spots by this afternoon. Live at Oneonta right now, the sunrise is roughly 25 or so minutes away on the dot right here at 6:50. Around 7:15 the sunrise time, and overall it's looking to be a quiet and cool start to your day. Those temperatures from our sky watchers across central New York in the 30s and 20s. 28 with Todd and Westdale, looking at Bob and Clinton with 30 degrees. Mike and New Hartford with 33. In the North Country, Bill and Sean, 27 and 22 degrees. And in Otsego County, Stewart and Cooperstown, 31. Scott and Evanston with 27 degrees. Tom and Lawrence also with 27. Diane and West Lawrence with 30. Mark and Milford, 31. And Pat and Skenevis with 26 degrees. Winds remain calm for today and tomorrow. They pick up a little bit Friday and Saturday, but looking at maybe 10 to 15 mile per hour winds, not too bad, and thankfully not nearly as windy as this past Monday. The radar itself is looking pretty quiet this morning, and overall expect to remain entirely quiet for the day today. And over the next 12 or so hours, we're expecting partly cloudy skies. Again, more clouds in the sky today compared to yesterday, but it shouldn't be too bad. In fact, we'll take 60s in mid-March any day or any month of the year. Heading into today, we're looking at those conditions still looking dry for the morning and early afternoon. That weak front pushes over us. That causes temperatures to quickly climb from the upper 40s to as high as the low 60s. Following that, there is a potential for a brief light sprinkle. The forcing with this front is low, and there's a lot of dry air near the surface, so it's a bit hard for any rain to even develop from this system. Anyways, it's looking pretty dry for tonight. Tomorrow, this morning, starting out with some patchy fog in the lowest elevation due to a low-level inversion. But by tomorrow afternoon, partly cloudy once more, highs in the upper 50s to low 60s. Then, a change in the forecast. The rain is arriving a little sooner compared to what we were expecting yesterday. It's arriving roughly Thursday night and into early Friday, which means it's good news for those of you who have weekend plans or even Friday plans. Looking at dry weather moving in for Friday afternoon, and hopefully the dry weather does stick around in time for the parade on Saturday. But for today, highs in the 50s to 60s, partly cloudy skies tonight. Looking entirely dry with some valley fog developing in the lowest elevations. 7-day forecast. Rain ends Friday morning. Dry for the most part Friday afternoon for those that are heading out to any Friday evening activities. Same thing for those that are doing the painting of the green line as well. And the parade, so far, so good. Fingers
All
crossed.
right, absolutely. Let's hope it stays that way. Thanks, Eric. Well, April 8th, the day of the total eclipse, is drawn out. First check of the forecast, and with that, here's meteorologist Eric Gage. And, you know, look, if everybody blames you when the weather's bad, you should take credit for today. Looks really nice out, and the temperatures keep climbing up there a little bit.
Yeah, that's right. A few clouds moved in, but the sun's been shining early this morning. And yeah, as you mentioned, it's warming up a little bit. Let's take a look at those temperatures across the area. It's currently 52 degrees at Griffiths and Rome, 55 at Hamilton. It's already 60 degrees down in Binghamton. And taking a look across central New York on the Mesna Camera Network, we're seeing, of course, plenty of blue skies, but as we mentioned, that weak front is moving through. We're seeing an increase of clouds currently over Utica right now. These clouds will pass and more sunshine will follow within the next few hours. Radar is looking quiet as of noontime, and as you see here this morning, it was chilly, warming up into the 60s around noontime, continuing to remain on the warm side, lingering into the mid to late evening. Then things will cool down only a little bit as we're tracking yet another mild day tomorrow before we're looking at another chance of rain. We'll talk about those chances plus a look at the weekend forecast straight ahead. Steve?
All right, Eric, thanks a lot. Well, staying on the story, we have
The WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired. From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's meteorologist Eric Gage.
Good afternoon and welcome back. We are continuing to track dry weather for the most part and some sunshine in other spots, but clouds have moved in. And this gives you guys an idea of the different types of fronts that we see in meteorology. For example, a few weeks ago when we had that very strong cold front, that Arctic blast, that flash freeze, that was a strong cold front. Today, that front, which is a warm front, is actually moving over us, but you can probably hardly tell aside from some clouds over downtown Utica right now. And it's remained entirely dry too. There's been enough dry air into the surface. The front is weak enough to where you don't really notice it. The only thing you might notice aside from the clouds would be the temperatures as they continue to rise as high as the 50s and 60s, currently in the low 50s in parts of the Mohawk Valley right now. With the dry weather, what I want to do is a car wash for today. Great weather for that. Same thing for tomorrow. But if you want to hold off, save the money, well, you could wait till Thursday night and Friday. That's when rain showers begin to arrive. You can leave your car outside and let Mother Nature do the work for you. But a look at the preview for this weekend for St. Patrick's Day, the St. Patrick's Day Parade. Starting out with the parade, it's looking more and more dry. Good news for those of you who want to go out and watch it. We have a few stubborn clouds, maybe some lingering light drizzle in the early morning, but you can see here those temperatures are still a bit on the cool side. Bundle up a little bit, but it won't be too bad, at least compared to the years past where we've seen wet snow, blowing snow, or just any sort of weird Mother Nature things it likes to throw at us. But for today, we're seeing that sunshine. You can see those clouds moving through right now, and beyond that, some more sunshine moves in this evening, with temperatures climbing into the upper 50s to low 60s. Tonight, looking at clear skies due to an inversion near the surface, trapping that moisture we could be seeing some valley fog here in the Mohawk Valley. But regardless, things do dry out by Thursday afternoon with a few more passing clouds. Then, as you approach Thursday night, that's when that widespread rain begins to arrive. Pushes through central New York throughout the overnight hours, and lingering rain possible by Friday morning into early Friday afternoon. But Friday evening is looking dry, and hopefully this remains the case heading into Saturday and Sunday. For today, though, across central New York, temperatures in the 50s and 60s. Tonight, lingering fog in the lowest elevations, lows in the 30s and 40s. 7-day forecast. We've got dry weather today and tomorrow. Rain arrives tomorrow night. So far, so good, looking dry for Saturday, and we have our first day of spring now in the 7-day forecast. And
wow,
right now it's looking a little bit less spring-like, 30s maybe for highs, but we have more spring-like weather today and tomorrow.
Absolutely. So get out and enjoy it. And looks okay for the St. Patrick's Day parade thus far.
Yes.
So hopefully that holds true as well. Thanks a lot, Eric. Well, Fultsbrook resident Neva Volo turned. Good afternoon once again, and thank you for joining us. I'm Steve McMurray. Gary is off this afternoon.
And I'm Storm Tracker 2 meteorologist Eric Gage.
And looks like it's going to be a very nice day out today. And the temperature, we were talking this morning, started out chilly in the 30s, but so far, climbing up. Very nice.
Yeah, not too bad. The current temperature right now is 60 in Cooperstown. We're seeing lots of people out there enjoying the nice weather. Let's take a zoom-in shot right there of Cooperstown right now. You can see just how active people are, and certainly after I leave my shift, I'm going to be going for a nice walk as well. It's going to be beautiful weather out there right now. Clouds still sticking around in some spots, but regardless, things are quiet and dry on the Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2 live radar. We're continuing to see dry weather for the remainder of the day today, and over the next 12 or so hours, we're seeing those temperatures climb into the low 60s, cool down into the 40s and 30s with partly cloudy skies tonight, and some patchy fog developing in the lowest elevations. We'll explain why, plus our next chance of rain in that full forecast straight ahead. Steve?
All right, thanks a lot, Eric. Well, it is the best time of year for college basketball.
The WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired. From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's meteorologist Eric Gage.
Good afternoon. Welcome back. As we mentioned a few minutes ago, Cooperstown currently reaching the 60-degree mark. It is, though, a little bit cooler in the Mohawk Valley. Let's take a live look at downtown Utica right now. Clouds are continuing to shift more south and east, and that sunshine is peeking out again, but the temperature is 51 degrees, around 9 degrees cooler than areas south, but that will change as more sun moves in, and of course that warmer air mixes down to the surface. A live look at the Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2 live radar. We don't really notice it besides the clouds, but a front has just passed our local area, and that is bringing with it those warmer temperatures. With the dry weather we're seeing for today and tomorrow, be a great weather to go out to get that car wash. Good weather for today, Thursday. Not so much for Friday morning, but as a matter of fact, if you want to save water, save money, maybe wait till Thursday night and Friday. Let Mother Nature do that car wash for you, with rain showers arriving overnight, lingering to early Friday morning. And we have, you guys, an early preview of the St. Patrick's Day Parade heading into this weekend. First off, a look of one of our long-range models showcasing completely dry conditions, maybe isolated drizzle. But regardless, it's cloudy and it's cool. Temperatures in the 30s, warming up into the 40s by Saturday afternoon. But to the near term today, after a cool start, temperatures have quickly climbed to the 50s in the Mohawk Valley, near 60 down in Cooperstown, Oneonta. That warm air continues to move in by this evening, and tonight, looking at quiet weather, rain showers will primarily stay south. Then, due to a low-level inversion tomorrow morning, there could be some valley fog in the Mohawk Valley, which will burn off by the afternoon as those temperatures climb similarly to today into the upper 50s to low 60s. Then, here comes that widespread rain pushing through the area tomorrow night and into Friday. And then Friday itself is trending more dry, primarily by the afternoon. But for today, enjoy the pleasant weather. Temperatures in the upper 50s, low 60s tonight. Lows falling into the 30s and 40s with some lingering valley fog in the Mohawk Valley. 7-day forecast. Rain comes to an end Friday, lingering drizzle possible Saturday morning, but it is trending more and more dry. Sunday for St. Patrick's Day itself, unfortunately, looks more and more unsettled. And so far, spring, the first day of it, is looking a bit on the cool side.
All right, well, it's spring-like today, and so we're technically still in winter, and hopefully that we can keep that dry, even if it's that window from noon Friday to noon Saturday.
Yeah, we'll take that dry weather.
We'll like that. All right, thanks a lot, Eric. Well, an earth science class in Canandaigua is learning.
Jill Reel, absolutely gorgeous day out there.
A top 10 March day. I mean,
yeah.
You have to double check the calendar and think, is it May
sure.
or is it March? But beautiful outside on our downtown camera, the Nexus Center camera. And it's hard to believe, but we are at 67 degrees at this hour. On top of that, really not dealing with much in the way of the wind. The reason why the warm temperatures, a warm front moved through earlier today, only brought a sprinkler or two under Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2 Doppler radar. Besides that, it's brought the warm temperatures. We're at 67 officially at Griffiths Park. Again, the wind has really subsided right now out of the west at 9 miles per hour. A great evening to go for a walk. Quiet weather, mild weather, but of course, in typical Central New York fashion, it's not going to last. I'll be tracking some rain in the forecast coming up.
Well, the sun is out and the Irish flag.
The WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired. From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's meteorologist Jill Reel.
A picture-perfect weather day across Central New York. If you haven't had a chance to enjoy it, well, you got 2 more hours of daylight thanks to daylight saving time. We are seeing a mix of sun and clouds from Old Forge, which is sitting at 61 degrees. Yes, it is 61 degrees on March 13th up in Old Forge. We're also seeing that sunshine down in Oneonta. Oneonta is at 63 degrees, so it is mild outside with plenty of sunshine, and that's all thanks to a warm front that has moved through the area. Now, that warm front, you could see just a few sprinkles down towards Norwich. Otherwise, do expect partly cloudy skies for the rest of this evening. We're going to stay dry for this evening as well. It's not until tomorrow night that we will be tracking some rain moving back into the region. Now tomorrow, just like today, the winds are going to be calm, but as we head towards Friday with our next storm system moving on through, we're going to be dealing with breezy conditions. Saturday, once again, calm winds, and then more in the way of breezy conditions for Sunday. So kind of an every other day at this point in time, but we're not really going to be dealing with any windy conditions anytime soon. So on our radar and satellite, again, you could see that warm front that moved through. Now it extends past Albany, but really didn't pack a punch besides those temperatures. We saw a little bit of extra cloud cover late this morning into the afternoon, but now sunshine has returned along with those warm temperatures. Now, as we head into tonight and into the majority of tomorrow, the weather looks quiet as we look towards the west. But behind this, we are going to be dealing with some rain that's going to move in tomorrow evening into tomorrow night. So tomorrow during the day, we look dry, but we will be tracking some rain as we head towards tomorrow night. So on our Skycast for tonight, not nearly as cold as this morning. We'll drop back into the 30s rather than the 20s. As we head into tomorrow, again, we will see some sunshine in the morning. You will notice an increase in clouds as we head towards the afternoon. But as we head towards Thursday evening, that's when you'll see that rain moving in. So by 5:30, 6 o'clock, we'll begin to see some showers move into the area. That rain will become more widespread as we head towards Thursday night. But our latest information is showing the majority of that rain moves out Friday morning. So by Friday afternoon, we're drying out, which also means we could see some dry conditions just in time for the St. Patrick's Day parade. So for tonight, not nearly as cold. We'll drop back to near 40 degrees. For tomorrow, during the day, we will be dry. Temperatures will be in the 60s. And here's a sneak peek of your parade preview. I have taken out the chance of rain, so we're just going to see cloud cover across the region. But remember, the parade is in the morning, so that means temperatures will be in the 30s, so definitely want to bundle up, but not nearly as cold as we've seen in the past or as rainy, which is some good news. That rain does move in as we head towards Sunday, and then, yeah, first day of spring, snow showers.
Of course. That's just what we would expect.
I mean, that's how we roll. I mean, all eyes are on Saturday, and as of right now, things are looking good.
Happy forecast. All right, Jill, thank you. Happening tomorrow.
Jill Real, and she's here with your forecast.
I don't know if my students would agree, but we'll just go from that. But we are dealing with quiet weather, and the weather does rock because we're seeing quiet conditions on our Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2 Doppler radar. If you're heading out this evening, you don't need the jacket. We are sitting at 67 degrees at Griffiths Park, and there isn't much wind. Right now, the wind is out of the west at 9 miles per hour. And to get us in the St. Patrick's Day spirit, you got to check out our dogs, that's plural, for our Skycast by Nye Automotive Group. We have Polly, Patty, and Roseanne, and they are all decked out for St. Patrick's Day. If you're taking your dog for a walk for this evening, fantastic weather with temperatures still in the 60s. Don't forget those sunglasses as well. Rain does return for tomorrow. I'll tell you when, coming up.
Jill, thank you.
4 years.
The WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired. From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's meteorologist Jill Real.
You may need to double check the calendar. It is not May 13th, but rather March 13th. But you wouldn't notice a difference with these temperatures across the region. Let's check it out. Even up north, we're at 61 degrees in Otter Lake, 68 in Lowville, 59 in Inlet, 66 in Little Falls, 70 in Westmoreland, as well as Sylvan Beach. As we head to the south across the southern valleys, same story. We're in the mid to upper 60s, 65 in Cooperstown, 63 in Oneonta, 68 popular number for Sherburne, as well as Norwich and Unadilla. And not only are we dealing with the warm temperatures, we're seeing lots of sunshine. As we look towards downtown Utica, we're seeing partly to mostly sunny skies. Now, we did see some cloud cover earlier today that was associated with the warm front, but now clearing skies and quiet weather, which means quiet conditions on our Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2 Doppler radar. So as we go throughout the evening into tonight, we're just going to see a few extra clouds, but do expect quiet weather for the short term. But as we head into tomorrow, especially as we head towards tomorrow evening and tomorrow night, we will be tracking some rain across the region. On top of that, we're all, of course, always tracking that wind. March usually is one of the windier months, but this week we are improving. We saw calm winds today. We'll see calm winds tomorrow. It will get a bit breezy as we head towards Friday and Sunday. That is when we'll have that wet weather begin to move into the region, but calm winds just in time for the St. Patrick's Day parade on Saturday. So for this evening into tonight, high pressure remains in control of our weather, so dry air moving in. You could see that warm front that moved through, now making its way towards Boston. Not much with it, a sprinkler or two across the southern valleys. Otherwise, we've been dealing with partly cloudy skies. As we head into tomorrow, especially tomorrow late afternoon into the evening, we'll begin to see a bit more in the way of cloud cover, and that cloud cover will be associated with some rain as we head into tomorrow night. So on our Skycast, again, for the overnight, not as cold because of that warm front, so temperatures will be dropping back into the upper 30s to near 40 degrees. So waking up tomorrow morning, mix of sun and clouds. As we go throughout the morning and especially the afternoon, you will notice an increase in clouds, but that won't stop temperatures from warming up into the 60s across the region. Rain looks to hold off until tomorrow evening and tomorrow night. So by 5:30, 6 o'clock, we'll begin to track some rain through the region. That rain will be widespread as we head throughout Thursday night, but latest information is indicating this is faster moving. So we're going to dry out as we go throughout the day on Friday, which means dry weather for the parade. So for tonight, temperatures will be dropping back to near 40 degrees under partly cloudy skies. Increase in clouds for tomorrow. During the day, we will be dry. Rain moves in as we head towards tomorrow night, but no rain in the forecast as we head towards St. Patrick's Day. It will be in the 30s, but we do look dry for the parade. And that dry weather will not be lasting because more in the way of some rain as we head towards actual St. Patrick's Day on Sunday, with much cooler weather as we head towards the first day of spring. More news coming up.
Look at your forecast at 6 Years meteorologist Jill Real.
And we were talking about beautiful weather across central New York for this evening. So if you had not had an opportunity to check out the weather yet, you have about an hour until that sunset. And don't worry about being cool. we're still in the 60s. We're at 66 degrees at 6 o'clock on March 13th. With beautiful, beautiful blue sunny skies across the region and quiet weather on our Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2 Doppler radar. Now, on top of the warm weather, it is not windy. We've been dealing with that wind over the past couple of days, but right now, wind out of the west-northwest at 7 miles per hour. So as we go throughout, by the way, that sunset is not correct. I just noticed that, so don't email us or call us. I'm just aware of that. This is what happens when you fill in. Anyways, for the rest of tonight, temperatures will be dropping back into the 50s for this evening. Rain does return tomorrow. We'll check at that forecast, and I'm going to fix that graphic for Bill. We'll have that forecast coming up in just a bit.
All right, thank you, Jill. According to a state labor department,
The WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired. From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's meteorologist Jill Reel.
Even though spring is still a few days away, it feels like the middle of spring outside. This evening, temperatures in the 60s. We are currently seeing 68 degrees in Westmoreland. Check out Sylvan Beach. Sylvan Beach is at 70 degrees. Even the Adirondacks are seeing the warm weather. 58 degrees in Inlet, 61 in Otter Lake, 68 in Lowville. And as we head into the Southern Valley, same story, 60s all around. 63 in Oneonta, 68 in Norwich, 66 as well in Sherburne, as well as Hamilton. Warm weather continues, all thanks to a warm front that moved through the region throughout the afternoon hours. It did give us a little bit of extra cloud cover, but now we're seeing beautiful weather for this evening. And speaking of beautiful weather, nice blue sunny skies. Again, if you're heading out this evening, maybe the light jacket. You do need the sunglasses, though. Again, we still have about an hour of daylight before that sun sets, just after 7 o'clock. Quiet conditions on our Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2 Doppler radar. As we go throughout tonight into tomorrow, we do stay dry. It's not until tomorrow night that we will be tracking rain moving back into the region. So you still have advantage of taking advantage of that nice weather for tomorrow before tomorrow night. Now the wind, it's been fantastic today. We're not dealing with breezy conditions, windy conditions. Calm winds will continue for tomorrow. Will be a bit breezy as we head it towards Friday and for Sunday. So just keep that in mind as we head it towards the weekend. On radar and satellite, again, you can see that warm front extends from Binghamton all the way back towards Boston with just a few sprinkles. But for us, we didn't see any rain, just saw some extra cloud cover and then that surge of that warm air moving into the region. As we head into tomorrow, especially tomorrow evening into tomorrow night, you can't even see it yet, but we will be tracking rain moving into the region. Out ahead of that rain, we'll see some extra cloud cover throughout the region for tomorrow. Tonight, though, quiet, comfortable. Temperatures will drop back to near 40 degrees. So some sunshine to start for your Thursday. Clouds will increase as we head towards the afternoon. It's not until after 6, 7 o'clock we will be tracking that rain moving into the region. Now the rain will be steady as we head towards Thursday night, but it's a fast-moving system. So by Friday morning, 8 o'clock, the rain is moving out of the area. That's good news for painting the green line, of course, at noon on Genesee Street. And that also means we're going to be drying out just in time for the St. Patrick's Day parade. So for tonight, temperatures will drop back to near 40 degrees under partly cloudy skies. Tomorrow, increase in clouds. We'll still be in the low 60s, though. And a sneak peek at your parade, dry. That is the big news. It's going to be dry, a little cool, but we've seen much colder temperatures. We'll see temperatures in the upper 30s. And that's actually going to be our high temperatures as we head it towards next week. A little taste of winter for the first day of spring.
Makes sense, though.
I mean, that's how this winter is going.
oh my
Jill,
gosh,
thank you.
Yeah.
Still to come on News Channel 2 at 6.
We're tracking quiet weather once again for tonight into part of tomorrow after a beautiful day today. Again, quiet weather will continue for tonight and dry weather into tomorrow, but that is going to change as we head towards tomorrow night. That's when rain returns across the region. But the good news is we've been tracking this rain and it looks like we're going to dry out just in time for the St. Patrick's Day Parade on Saturday. Speaking of dry, quiet conditions on our Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2 Doppler radar. Here is a sneak peek at our parade. We're going to be seeing cloud cover and temperatures in the 30s, but we are going to be dry throughout the parade. Actually, all of Saturday does look to be dry, which is some great news. And speaking of dry conditions for tonight with partly cloudy skies. Temperatures will drop back to near 40 degrees. We'll track that timing of the rain coming up in just a bit.
Jill, thank you. In a move that could lead
The WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired. From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's meteorologist Jill Rio.
Quiet weather continues for tonight across the region. It's hard to believe, but a warm front actually moved through this afternoon. Usually when you have a front, you get some precipitation, but for us, we just got a few extra clouds across the area. And then we saw that big warm up this afternoon. We officially made it to 67 degrees at Griffith Park. Now that quiet weather continues for tonight with quiet conditions on our Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2 Doppler radar. And speaking of quiet, the wind is still going to be quiet for tomorrow. Now we are going to see breezy conditions as we head towards Friday and for Sunday. So just want to keep an eye on that. Not windy, nothing damaging, but the wind is going to pick up again for Friday with that rain as well as for Sunday. But parade day, no rain and calm winds, which is some very good news. Now that chance of rain is going to be low throughout the day tomorrow, but notice after about 6 p.m., we're going to see that chance of rain turn likely to almost certain. So we are going to be tracking widespread rain again tomorrow evening and especially as we head into tomorrow night. Now during the day tomorrow, we're going to be dry. Increase in clouds, but still mild with temperatures in the 60s. That rain does move in as we head towards Thursday evening and into Thursday night. Quiet weather continues across central New York. We will be tracking some cloud cover. That cloud cover will begin to move in throughout the overnight into tomorrow morning, but I do believe we'll see some sunshine to start for your Thursday. Increase in clouds throughout the day, out ahead of our next storm system that will bring that widespread rain for Thursday. So let's time it out for you on our Skycast. Again, tonight we'll drop back to near 40 degrees, so not too cold of a start for your Thursday, especially compared to this morning. And on Tuesday morning with temperatures in the 20s and 30s, we'll be near 40 degrees. Now an increase in clouds as we head towards the noon hour, but look at that. Temperatures will still make their way to near 60 degrees. As we head towards the evening, as we just saw with our chance of rain, by 6 o'clock, do expect scattered showers to move in from the west. So if you live in Little Falls, Herkimer, will be a little bit later. But as we go throughout the overnight, do expect widespread rain to continue, but it's going to quickly move out. So as we head towards Friday morning, 8 o'clock, just mostly cloudy skies, a few sprinkles around throughout Friday morning, but drying out as we head towards Friday afternoon and Friday evening. So for tonight, we'll drop back to near 40 degrees under partly cloudy skies. Tomorrow, increase in clouds, but we'll make it to near 60 degrees. That chance of rain will be arriving tomorrow night, continuing into Friday morning, tapering off as we head towards Friday afternoon. And the good news is that front is fast moving, so we will see a return to dry weather for Saturday for the parade. But unfortunately for actual St. Patrick's Day, we're going to be tracking more rain with cooler weather behind it.
Jill, thank you. With parts of our viewing area in the patio.
We're tracking quiet weather once again for tonight into part of tomorrow after a beautiful day today. Again, quiet weather will continue for tonight and dry weather into tomorrow, but that is going to change as we head towards tomorrow night. That's when rain returns across the region. But the good news is we've been tracking this rain, and it looks like we're going to dry out just in time for the St. Patrick's Day Parade on Saturday. Speaking of dry, quiet conditions on our Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2 Doppler radar. Here is a sneak peek at our parade. We're going to be seeing cloud cover and temperatures in the 30s, but we are going to be dry throughout the parade. Actually, all of Saturday does look to be dry, which is some great news. And speaking of dry conditions for tonight with partly cloudy skies. Temperatures will drop back to near 40 degrees. We'll track that timing of the rain coming up in just a bit.
Jill, thank you. In a move that could lead to a
The WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired. From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's meteorologist Jill Rio.
Quiet weather continues for tonight across the region. It's hard to believe, but a warm front actually moved through this afternoon. Usually when you have a front, you get some precipitation, but for us, we just got a few extra clouds across the area. Then we saw that big warm up this afternoon. We officially made it to 67 degrees at Griffith Park. Now that quiet weather continues for tonight with quiet conditions on our Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2 Doppler radar. And speaking of quiet, the wind is still going to be quiet for tomorrow. Now we are going to see breezy conditions as we head towards Friday and for Sunday. So just want to keep an eye on that. Not windy, nothing damaging, but the wind is going to pick up again for Friday with that rain as well as for Sunday. But parade day, no rain and calm winds, which is some very good news. Now that chance of rain is going to be low throughout the day tomorrow, but notice after about 6 p.m., we're going to see that chance of rain turn likely to almost certain. So we are going to be tracking widespread rain again tomorrow evening and especially as we head into tomorrow night. Now during the day tomorrow, we're going to be dry. Increase in clouds, but still mild, the temperatures in the 60s. That rain does move in as we head towards Thursday evening and into Thursday night. Quiet weather continues across central New York. We will be tracking some cloud cover. That cloud cover will begin to move in throughout the overnight into tomorrow morning, but I do believe we'll see some sunshine to start for your Thursday. Increase in clouds throughout the day, out ahead of our next storm system that will bring that widespread rain for Thursday. So let's time it out for you on our Skycast. Again, tonight we'll drop back to near 40 degrees, so not too cold of a start for your Thursday, especially compared to this morning. And on Tuesday morning with temperatures in the 20s and 30s, we'll be near 40 degrees. Now an increase in clouds as we head towards the noon hour, but look at that. Temperatures will still make their way to near 60 degrees. As we head towards the evening, as we just saw with our chance of rain, by 6 o'clock, do expect scattered showers to move in from the west. So if you live in Little Falls, Herkimer will be a little bit later. But as we go throughout the overnight, do expect widespread rain to continue, but it's going to quickly move out. So as we head towards Friday morning, 8 o'clock, just mostly cloudy skies, a few sprinkles around throughout Friday morning, but drying out as we head towards Friday afternoon and Friday evening. So for tonight, we'll drop back to near 40 degrees under partly cloudy skies. Tomorrow, increase in clouds, but we'll make it to near 60 degrees. That chance of rain will be arriving tomorrow night, continuing into Friday morning, tapering off as we head towards Friday afternoon. And the good news is that front is fast moving, so we will see a return to dry weather for Saturday for the parade. But unfortunately for actual St. Patrick's Day, we're going to be tracking more rain with cooler weather behind it.
All right, Jill, thank you. With parts of our viewing area